Hello, welcome to hands-on-sap.com. This is Hassan Mir. In this tutorial, I'll talk about problems with custom application development. Now, for a company, there are always two options: either to have their applications developed from scratch or to go for out-of-the-box ERP solution. Okay, so they have two options: to implement information technology solution to manage their day-to-day data and information. Okay, now in this tutorial we're going to see what is wrong with approach one, that is if they decide to build the wheel from scratch. Okay, so this is a company. The company has multiple departments. Now if they're going to go for custom application development, then each department will have its own custom application developed from scratch. Okay, so department 1 will have their own software, department 2 will have their own software, and each of these software would be serving the need for that particular department. Okay, now this is how the custom development works. First of all, requirements are gathered, and then you develop the application from scratch based on these requirements that were gathered. Then client looks at the application first time. Okay, once the application is developed, then the department would be basically looking at the application that is developed. Now once the client look at the application, they want to have more changes. Okay, because they really don't know what to expect, what they want, unless they see the product. So it's very difficult to modify the already built application. So this is one of the challenges in custom application development, that client requests more changes once the whole software is developed, and it's very difficult to modify that rigid software that is developed from scratch, because it doesn't have the flexibility in it to be modified. Now the client would not know what they want unless they see the software. Okay, so this phenomena is called analysis paralysis. So that is number one problem with custom application development. Now there are going to be multiple iterations. The software is going to be developed, client's going to look at the application, they want more changes, and somehow developers would be modifying that product to meet client's changing requirement, and there will be a couple of iterations. Now eventually client would say, okay, now we are kind of happy with the application. Then the application would go live. Once the application goes live, or it goes live in the production, that means the end users start using the system for their day-to-day business needs. Now large IT staff, mainly programmers, needs to be retained for ongoing maintenance and system changes. Why? Because this application is not very flexible, and if there are problems, ongoing problems, or more changes are required, programmers need to open the hood, do the modification, and close the hood again, right? So the techies should be retained for the ongoing support. Now when during the custom application development cycle, departments, they act as information silos. They don't really share information among each other. Okay, because there are hard boundaries usually between the departments of large companies. So this leads to inefficient applications with redundancies and duplications of both data and functions, because when the software for department 1 is being developed, they are building the same features as the software for development for department 2, and they are not sharing information between themselves. So both are doing R&Ds and reaching the same conclusion separately from each other, right? So the waste of energy and waste of resources, and both are working on the same piece of logic while they could have worked together. Now another problem these information silos leads to is that system is never truly integrated. Now when we say system means all custom applications together. They are never truly integrated, and you have to build a large number of interfaces so that they can interact each other. Usually these interfaces are built afterwards when you realize that there's a problem, that they're not communicating well among themselves. So you build lots of interfaces even though the system is not truly integrated, because there is so much redundancy and duplication of data, that no matter how many interfaces you build, the system will never be very efficient. Okay, now that was the second problem with the custom applications. Now the third problem is when it comes to the upgrades. There will be a time when your technology is outdated. For example, your COBOL and Fortran is outdated and you need to replace it with a better technology. Then each department would need to do their own upgrades. Okay, so you will be, let's say if this company has 4 departments, there will be like 4 teams working in the IT departments of the and they will be doing upgrades separately for each of these 4 software. Okay, so this is the sum and substance. Custom application development poses few problems. Analysis paralysis is one problem. The client doesn't know what they want until they really look at the system, and then it's very difficult to change the system. Large support staff, mainly programmers, needs to be retained after the go live so that they can modify the system for future changes. And inefficient system and with redundancies, that is third problem with the custom application development. You have the system, but it has lots of duplications of data and functions, okay, and it's never truly integrated, even though you have large number of interfaces, because departments act as silos, and they didn't communicate well with each other while the software was being developed, and you don't have a truly integrated system. And when it comes to upgrade, it takes very long time for upgrading so many different software running in your enterprise. Okay, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial, and I see you in my next tutorial.